I have no idea what happened. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Shout out to my new subscriber. Really appreciate y'all. I'm just not technology savvy, but I'm catching on, and I promise you it's gonna get better. But the information needs to get out there. And where was I at? That just threw me for a loop. I don't know what happened. Oh no. Oh hell. Oh God, you can't make this up. Oh yeah, this is where I left off. Okay, I got everything together. Thank y'all. So foreign foreign countries is happy what Trump is doing. So we're going to foreign strong men cheer as Musk dismantles U.S. aid agency. Leaders in Russia, Hungary, El Salvador welcome the Trump administration's assault on U.S. aid, which many authorities have seen as a threat. I didn't know that. When Elon Musk set about feeding U.S. aid into a wood chopper, as he put it, it wasn't only supporters of President Trump's America First agenda who were cheering the dismantling of the foreign aid agency. The Kremlin was too. Smart move, said Dmitry Makarov, a former Russian president who is currently the deputy chairman of the country's Security Council, chimed in from Moscow, which for years has shafted at the U.S. Agency for International Development Action before forcing it out of the country in 2012. I didn't even know Russia had forced USA office out of Russia in 2012. In Hungary, Prime Minister Viktor Orban, who is closely aligned with President Vladimir Putin of Russia, celebrate what he called an end to funding of the globalist organization. In a Facebook post on Tuesday, Mr. Orban, political director, said he couldn't be happier with what Mr. Musk and Mr. Trump were doing, fighting the Illuminati. Wow. Wow. The powers that be. And that's a fact. That is a fact. Nabi Burko, the leader of El Salvador, who has embraced strongman tactics to crack down on gang violence, also struck out at the aid program, saying in a post that funds have been funneled into opposition groups, NGOs, which stands for non governmental organizations with political agendas and destabilizing movement. As protesters in Washington gathered on Monday in front of the USAID headquarters to support the agency, leaders intolerant of dissent rejoiced. Mr. Trump's administration was dismantling an agency they long has seen as a threat, often for pointing up their government's transgressions. Wow, I had no idea. Agency grants to promote democracy, human rights, and good government have gone to support election monitoring groups, anti corruption watchdogs, independent media outlets, and human rights organizations, exactly the kind of oversight that leaders like Mr. Putin detest. Democracy initiatives amount to 1.58 billion of U.S. aid funding in 2023, a silver a sliver of the agency's annual budget, but they can attract outsized attention. Grant recipients often cross swords with the world's authoritarian leaders who view the activities as a threat to their power. Mr. Orban, who met in December with Mr. Trump and Musk and other foreign officials, have persisted in asking the U.S. government to end such programs over the years. Wow. News of USA's dismantlement will be celebrated by dictators, around the world and lamented by the Democrats around the world, said Thomas Crothers, a former State Department official who leads Democracy, Conflict, and Government program at Carnegie Endowment for International Peace in Washington. Discontinue of the Democracy and Human Rights Fund, he said, would have a significant impact on small organizations, which often find themselves waging David versus Goliath battles. It means that anti corruption activists trying to expose government theft are unable to do that, Mr. Crowder said. It means that independent news outlets that are struggling to stay free of government control don't have the resources to do that. We shouldn't be funding independent news media. That's not what it's for. Wow. It means that lots of people fighting against repressive power will be less able to do that. USA has come under the fire for wasteful spending in the past, particularly during the war in Afghanistan, when hundreds of billions of dollars were spent on botched projects such as an incomplete road and a minimally used power plant. But Mr. Musk has said the entire agency needs to die, not just wasteful programs. Much of USA's work focuses on health and humanitarian assistance. In 2023, the agency provided more than 1.9 billion in food aid. We got people hungry here in America. We have homeless people. 1.9 billion could have fed a lot of people and put the homeless into affordable housing. The agency also delivers vaccines, HIV treatment, and childbirth care and combats malaria, tuberculosis, and other diseases. The drive by Mr. Trump and Mr. Musk to unravel the agency is part of a wider campaign against almost all American foreign aid. We don't have to give no other countries nothing. They don't give us nothing. We not rich. We $37 trillion in debt. America is broke. When y'all gonna realize that? All you do is print money, which causes inflation. Oh my God. Mr. Trump signed an executive order on January 20th. You see, they call him Mr. Trump, not president, ordering a halt to the aid so that government could review programs. On Monday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said he was taking over as acting administrator of U.S. aid. That was followed on Tuesday night by an official memo posted online that said the entire global workforce of the agency will be put on leave by the end of Friday. Least is paid leave. Earlier, officials at a different aid agency, the State Department's Bureau for Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor, issued stop work orders to contractors. Authoritarian leaders have criticized the Bureau's work, which includes significant democracy promotion programs, and they would welcome any erosion of its authority. U.S. aid funding for these kinds of initiatives has significant impact abroad. In Russia, for example, the election monitoring group Galos, which received the American grants, documented extensive voting irregularities during the 2011 parliamentary elections. Anger about those violations led to the biggest protest to date against Mr. Putin's rule and galvanized a broader opposition movement led by the late Alexei Navalny. At the time, Mr. Putin likened foreign grant recipients to Judas. The following years, as he pushed Russia deeper into authoritarianism, he terminated all the agency's programs in the country. That's why he kicked us out. Oh, in 2023, after Mr. Putin ordered a Russian invasion of Ukraine and led a broad crackdown at home, the co-founder of Galos, Gregory Ma- um, Malkovich, was jailed. He is being tried for carrying out activities of an undesirable organization and has pleaded not guilty. In nations once in Moscow's orbit, including Ukraine, the top recipient of U.S. funds, a withdrawal of U.S. and would benefit the Kremlin. Some analysts say. Elsewhere in the world, particularly in nations where Washington and Beijing have been competing, China could fill the void. Trump's administration and Musk's actions have created significant opportunities for China and other authoritarian regimes which seeks to enforce labor and trafficking of Chinese workers. The group's State Department funding has been frozen. The U.S. reduction in foreign aid and focus on economic development is essentially mimicking China's successful model, prioritizing economic growth while neglecting human rights, environmental protections, and labor rights. The Trump administration has portrayed USAID's programs as an example of liberal culture run amok and of government waste. Well, it is, and we'll get there. The White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt on Monday accused the agency of wasting taxpayer money to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in Serbia and Ireland. Right. It ain't no black folk in there, so who's benefiting? Because the number one recipient of DEI programs is Caucasian women. That's statistics, and that's a fact. Look it up. Oh, in Ireland, I'm sorry, a transgender comic book. In Peru, and a transgender opera in Colombia. Three of the four grants she cited were not, in fact, not as USAID programs, according to review of government records by New York Times. They were initiative funded directly by the State Department. The Biden administration expanded support for LGBT rights abroad and diversity initiatives, but the bulk of USAID's work is focused elsewhere. Well, if that's a fact of what this article is saying, why was it in USA's budget? Make it make sense. Iran's criticism of the agency has been more conspiratorial. It has accused the U.S. government of plotting covert operations aimed at overthrowing the Iranian leadership through funding Persian media outlets and human rights organizations focused on Iran. Iranian state media routinely have labeled these funds and groups as CIA operatives to discredit them. Mr. Musk is used some of the same rhetoric agency as a criminal organization. Come on. And amplifying conspiratorial posts. Some of Mr. Musk's comments were indistinguishable from those that Baldwin, chairman of the lower house of Russian parliament, made on Telegram on Wednesday when he too said USA is a criminal organization. Humanitarian initiatives can enhance American soft power, supporters say, which can buy the United States goodwill and leverage in countries across the world for a comparatively small fraction of federal spending. In 2023, USAID funding represented approximately 7% of the U.S. federal budget. In 2021, before that war in Ukraine, it accounted for 0.4%. The broadside against the agency in Washington has led some to wonder if European governments or private donors would step in to pay for threatened initiatives. No, they not. Not with their money, but with taxpayer money, absolutely. Now, Mikhail Gorbachev, and that's not the saying of his name, the exiled Russian oil tycoon and Putin opponent, said in a message on Telegram on Monday that he and fellow Russian businessman Boris Zeman would step in to fund Russian language media, human rights, and analytical projects, as well as humanitarian aid projects operating in Ukraine. But he cautioned they wouldn't be able to help all the grant recipients in full. Now you got some governments that's gonna step in. Oh, I'm gonna have to turn that thing off because it just made too much noise. So, a European Center for European Reform said the United States spends about $2 billion a year on direct democracy promotion programs, including both the direct State Department funds and USAID grants. Europe spends about $4 billion and would need to spend about 50% more to make up the difference. I find that honestly quite unlikely. The immediate problem, she said, is the speed of dismantling. This is happening right now, and I know many organizations that would need to shut down. By the time European countries respond, she said, they may not be much of the ecosystem to say. All right, now let's get back into this. Let's see. Oh no, that ain't what I wanted. I wanted to go here. That's enough. Now this is somewhere the money is going. This is crazy.
Been a lot of pearl clutching over the last several days from my across the aisle on Donald Trump, Secretary Ruth Department for International Defense. As we know, USAID
Blown. That's a fact. George Soros and his boys is okay. They okay because he has funded every crooked DA. He has bought 240 radio stations. He has put money in all these, practically the Democratic and legislative pockets.
threat to democracy when they've been systematically dismantling democracy before our eyes. They've been caught with their head in the future. There's no before our eyes. They've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar. And there's no going back. So I tell my colleagues across the other side, I yourself tears. And so
Okay, I'm sick of this. Stop it, StreamYard.
to its core, sacrificing the prudent use of tax at the altar of advancing radical ideology to marginalize bona fide biological women. For decades, while homeless veterans sleep on our streets, our community built natural disasters, and American family will die. USA ideas pillaged and plundered. Their party is crumbling. Today, I'm going to expose some of the initiatives USAID has funded over the years and ask each of you a yes or no question. If you believe these expenditures of American tax dollars put America first, so it'll be yes or no. USAID awarded $2 million to strengthen trans-led organizations to deliver gender-affirming health care in Guatemala. So to each of you this morning, does this advance the interests of American citizens paying for trannies in Guatemala to live $2 million? Yes, no. Governor? Okay, USAID awarded over $750,000 to fund alleviating loneliness among migrant garment workers in India. Does this advance America's interests, Governor? No.
No. I have no position.
USAID awarded $1.5 million in response to migration at the zone board. Does it advance America's interests? Okay, USAID awarded $4.3 million on October 1st, 2020 to a group to fund comprehensive health services for men having sex with other men in South Africa. Does this advance the interests of American citizens, Governor? No.
No. I have no position.
If this keep up, I'm just gonna have to shut it down, and I already rebooted.
No.
No. Nope.
You have no idea, right? Okay. USAID awarded over $7,000 to a last 23 to a group to fund a comprehensive services for men having sex with other men in South Africa. No.
No. Nope.
You have no idea, right? Okay. USAID awarded over $70,000 to a group to deliver a live musical event to promote the U.S. and Irish shared values of diversity, equity of America. Or no clue. Okay, USAID awarded $1.5 million to fund strengthening community support structures to upscale LGBT rights advocacy in Jamaica. I did $8 million to facilitate economic insertion of Venezuelan migrants and refugees in Peru and Ecuador. Does this advance our interests? overseas. Does this advance America's interests? No.
No. No. No position.
Male
I don't know what
circumcision
circumcision overseas have to do with America first either. UAI.
You can't make this up. You cannot make this up on what this money has been spent on at all. Oh shoot.
USAID has gotten a lot of attention in the last days with some of these bizarre things that we actually.
I'm I'm gonna go ahead and let me see. I'm gonna go
Here
ahead.
to the briefing room, I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets. It has in the
I'm just gonna shut it down. Something comes. Oh wow, this still had me live. Should I finish or no? Since maybe I should. No, I'm about to end this. I'm tired now.